Most of us build our solar systems around one assumption. We're the ones that are going to be running it. We know how it works. We know what's normal. We know what to touch. And we know, probably more importantly, what not to touch. But here's the uncomfortable question: almost no one plans for, and we should probably be asking it. Of course, there are some of you guys out there who are planning for it. So good job. What happens if I'm not there? And that can mean a lot of different things. That can mean I'm out of town or I'm hospitalized or maybe even dead. But if you're the person who operates solar and set it up in your house and something happens, does anyone else actually know how to safely shut the system down? Does anyone know how to do maintenance? Do they know how to get you back on grid if you have grid available? And do they know who to call if they need some help? Or are they basically just sitting in the dark wondering what to do? Tonight's topic came from a viewer, Lewis. Thanks for suggesting it. I thought it was awesome. And it's about ownership and responsibility. DIY solar doesn't stop at the install. If your system only works because you exist, there might be a problem. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But before we do, I want to thank all of y'all for showing up. A bunch of you guys are always here early, and gals, always here early hanging out. That's a lot of fun to watch the conversation while we're doing show prep. And I also want to thank my co-hosts here, Rodney Hunt and Adam DeLay. These guys, I guess we've been doing this. If you're new, we've been doing this for over a year. Every single Thursday night, we go live, we take questions. Sometimes we bring a topic, sometimes we have a guest, and sometimes we give away a really nice piece of equipment or two. So with that said, I guess let's just let you guys introduce, just tell us what's going on with yourselves this week. Start with Rodney and then go on over to Adam. Rodney, what's been going on?
Well, I guess the same old for me, but the weather's changing for sure. Definitely got a lot colder today with this wind. I'm sure it's pretty much everybody in the country, mostly in the states, and this little cold wave we got going across. And so I was outside working today some, and that wind, man, it is chilly.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's the same stuff with me, weather changing, and definitely sometimes your batteries can go dead when it gets real cold. My battery went dead on the building here last night, went all the way down to like zero basically
Mm.
because I was charging my car and forgot that the heater was on, and the heat basically ran the battery all the way down. So, hey, it was a learning experience, but the house still had power, so that was good.
Good. Yeah, well, that's great, man. Adam.
Well, like Rodney, dealing with the weather fluctuations. If you see my face is a little red, I was outside shoveling for hour and a half, and it's, well, 15 with a real feel of, some single digit number that we don't want to talk about. Uh, so yeah, but trying to figure out just what to work on next. It you kind of get overwhelmed sometimes with just all the different projects to take care of, and can't figure out which one to start on next.
Yeah, or which one you got the money for, right? Yeah.
Most importantly, yeah.
Oh man. On that note, so I think I mentioned the tractor's not been working, and I've been going through some diagnostic stuff, replaced a few items that definitely were throwing code. Well, one that was throwing a code. And then I needed to get it loaded up because ultimately found out there's catastrophic failure that needed a tractor split and lots and lots and lots of money from the John Deere dealership. So, problem was it was wedged behind my house with the grapple down, and the morning of, I could not get it to start. The morning I needed to take it in. So I'm like out there with a high lift jack trying to get the grapple 6 feet in the air, to then lock the hydraulics to let it go down 5 feet, to then start the process back over to go up another 6 feet to try to go down 5 feet to where it's finally high enough to where I could get a winch and drag it onto the trailer and all that. And it took about 3 hours. My buddy Mitch came over and helped me just get it on to the trailer. Drove out there, we unloaded it, and the guy was like, well, how am I supposed to get off the trailer? You know, the implement's down. I'm like, you told me if I got it here, you could get it off. And he's like, well, the grapple's down. And I was like, well, won't start, won't, you know, whatever. And he walks up there, just like turns the key, cranks it, starts right up, lifts up the grapple. And then I don't even know if he tried to put it in gear, but then they drug it off the back. But I'm like, you know, and I couldn't tell if I was furious that the tractor started or relieved. It was a little bit of mixed emotions there, but nonetheless, yeah, that felt like how my week went. So
Yeah. Speaking of
sometimes,
that, you do get told stuff by people you're taking something to. Like my son got in a little motorcycle accident. Of course, he got a motorcycle, and somebody pulled out in front of him. He's fine. You know, he just basically fell with the bike. And so he took the
right.
bike to the dealership because they said, bring it in this day. So I went with him. We put it on the trailer, took it. And basically they looked at it and gave us a quote and then they act like they weren't going to take it. Like they want us to bring it back. I'm like, dude, we're not
No.
trailering this thing again. It's like, y'all keeping this thing. He's like, we're going to wait for
Yeah,
the insurance and all this. Like, look, he's going to pay for it or whatever. We're leaving this thing. I said,
yeah.
sometimes you get information and it's never what happens when you get there to these dealerships. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So that's
Man,
terrible.
that's crazy. Also, I'm glad he's all right though. That's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I told him not to get that thing. I had one years ago. Them things are there's dangerous, man, and it's always because of somebody else. Somebody pulled out in front of him. Luckily, he was
Yeah.
almost stopped by the time he ran into him. But you know, basically, the bike fell on him and saved the bike.
Oh no. Well,
Oh
I guess
man.
there's upsides. Well, let's say hi to some people in the chat. Let's see. I'm going to look over here off to my left here. We've got Retro Z Machine, number one in the chat. Is here first. Color Maker, Richard. We've got Ricketts, Mike Camp, Mike Solar Garage, Joe Schmidt, Uni's here. Let's see. Rodney's in the chat. Got Donald and Mike Kruger. Let's see. Grace is in the house, of course. We've got Jim and Red Bull and Off Grid Wannabe. We've got Roy, NC Hydro, Michael, Dale, and it goes on. It goes on. Sorry, guys. It's about 20. So, man, you guys are awesome. We've got 64 in the chat currently. Pretty awesome. Man, it's I know I say this a lot, but it's humbling to know that you guys want to hang out with us. Like it really is kind of cool to show up and see you guys hanging out. Well, I don't even know if you want to hang out with us. You're hanging out in the chat for sure, but you enjoy being here. We like seeing y'all, so that's
The
fun.
people in the chat, that's who they want to hang out with.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah, I hear it. We got a fun community. So I'm looking forward to doing some video calls and stuff like that where we can actually get on and hang out with you guys face to face a little bit. So, but all that stuff's coming. All right. With that said, let's kind of jump into the topic here. This one, I'll be honest, it hit me a little hard because I realized that I definitely do not have all the pieces in place to let one of my family members, like my wife, just take over if I'm gone. It's easy enough, but I haven't fully trained her. I showed her in past iterations, but so much has changed that I'm not quite there. So this is something that's absolutely, excuse me, don't drink carbonated water when you're doing this. That's something that's definitely something I need to do. So how about you guys? Do y'all have like
I'm in the
a
same spot
documented
as you.
plan?
I'm in the same spot as you. I've showed my son before, but then I've changed stuff now. And I mean, I might have showed him like one time, but with the grid boss, a lot of it's going to be automated. But let's say
Sure.
that messes up. There is a manual bypass, which I
Right.
have not showed him. So I guess I need to do that. And I need to work through my systems and make another list. I had took pictures and stuff like that and kind of made like a little thing I could send them.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to have to redo it all. So this just reiterated to me when you started talking about it that I need to update all my stuff. So
Yeah. How about you, Adam?
I actually brought my wife down. Oh, I don't know how long it's been, but really the biggest thing that I walked her through was in the event that something happened, how to shut the system down or switch it back to grid. Because I've got 2 of those 100 amp manual transfer switches, and I've got, pretty decent sized stickers on them saying, this one's grid, this one's battery, this one's off. And then I've got an e-stop that I've also showed her that will shut down most of the system. Um, I do have a tablet upstairs with the Victron VRM, just kind of displaying statistics of what's running. But like you guys, as the system evolves and changes, uh, there's always those things that you're adding to it that you forget to inform your significant other, your kids, whoever. Oh, you have to do this,
Mhm.
or look at that.
Yeah, and when making
Right.
these changes, like I went in my other building today where my 6,000 XPs and a lot of the batteries are, and I went in there and I'm like, man, it's pretty cold in here. And I forgot, I'm like, the 6,000 XPs aren't running. That's what used to keep the building a little warm. And I'm like, when it's
Hmm.
going to be this cold tonight, I'm like, as long as I'm pulling power out of the batteries for the house, they should stay warm enough. But that's just something I didn't even think about that when I put the grid boss and the hybrid inverters on the outside.
Yeah.
There's no heater in there. I don't have a heater in that building
Right.
because it was always hot enough with those 6,000 XPs running to keep it above freezing. So
Right.
that's just something to think about when you change stuff. You need to look back from the beginning because I didn't even think about that. You always look back from the beginning and look at everything over again, just like
Mm.
you didn't have anything. So
Mm.
something I'm gonna have to do.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've got the mini split sitting here, the 9,000, and it was 31 this morning, and I'm wearing the jacket because I have to walk back and forth to the house. It's not cold in this room because these things are putting out a decent amount of heat. Um, and it heated up a little bit throughout the day, but yeah, they put out enough to definitely keep a well insulated room in good shape. So, and it's good for the equipment to run a little bit cooler anyway. So,
Yeah.
um,
It's gonna get down to
so
21 tonight. I just don't want my stuff to get so cold
oof,
that it won't charge in the morning. Which, as long as it's
yeah,
pulling, it should be fine. But it's just something to think about.
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna look over here and we'll do a couple QQQs if there are any. Um, Joe Schmidt says, let's pull it up. He says, "Do I have a plan? Yes, I have lots. Um, the better question is, how many do I actually finish? 100%. LOL. I need a plan to finish plans. Man, no kidding. I think the DIY space is overrun with like I don't want to say 85%, maybe let's say like 90 percenters. Like get it done enough to where it's
It's working.
working, right?
Hmm.
It's functioning.
And then move
Moving
on.
on. Yeah. Oh man. It's a curse, but it's there. All right, let's see. NC Hydro says, if your tractor is new enough to display a code, it's too new. Agreed.
Yep.
But the catastrophic failure sends no codes. You just have to know. Um, just fun. All right. Let's see. Mark says, I have not, wait, yeah, I've not explained to my wife or son how the system works. Yeah. Yeah. We need to though, man. We really need to. Here's I'm gonna actually, if you guys want, whoever's here and those who are watching after the show goes live, I've got a Google Doc listed in the description. You can bring up, and we're gonna read through it here in a minute. We'll pull it up, but it's gonna be a checklist, and you know, read through there. If you see anything, you're like, you know what, I need to add this to that checklist, then let us know. Put I don't know I don't know what we should do. BBB instead of I don't know. Just put BBB and then your suggestion for what needs to go in there. That'll get us to where we can actually see it. I think Adam's going to start putting them in there live as we go and we read through them we'll talk through, hey, should this one be in there? Should not, whatever. So you can't put something in there that doesn't need to be in there. We're not going to put it on. Anyway. But do you guys ever do video documentation and then set up QR codes to point people in the right direction? Have y'all done that?
YouTube is video documentation.
I haven't did the QR code
well, for
thing,
sure.
no.
But not the QR codes.
Yeah.
No.
So I haven't done this recently, but it's a really great way to do it. You can put an unlisted or a private video on YouTube and then just print out a QR code for it and say like, all right, honey, this is how we do this. You're going to go over here and you're going to flip that one off. You're going to pull this over, whatever. And then you just print it off on a QR code and put like, watch this. And then take her right to it so she can walk her way through it. Now, the downside to that, the massive like Achilles heel is if you're sitting here in the dark with no internet, no power, watch this on YouTube may or may not work depending on how far out in the boonies you live. So there's a bit of a problem there. So I definitely recommend having a like printed setup. Of course, I don't have one, but a printed manual or what's the word? SOP, right? I guess maybe to some extent, but then also the video documentation. I'm curious if anyone in the comments hanging out with us has done video documentation for their family members. Let us know.
I'd be interested to know if anybody's had their spouse or their kid work with them hand in hand to be a number two as you're developing the system. I mean, I know my son comes down and helps with stuff occasionally, but it's not enough that he would be able to know what's what.
Right. I agree. I've definitely had my kids help me do things, but I wouldn't trust them at this point to come in and start managing the system. All right. Here's an interesting question. Engineers love change, and some change is, has anyone seen the new EG4 Connect app? You guys looked at it?
A little bit.
Not really.
Yep. My 6000 XP's sitting off to the corner, so I haven't done much with it.
I actually downloaded it and did a React video like within just hours of it coming out, and then I never posted it because I haven't posted videos in a long time, and it's just on the camera. But I like the simplicity of it, but it may be too simplistic for what we often like to do. Or maybe I just don't know how to use it. I can only find basically one button that did anything.
Is it a web portal or just a phone app?
The phone app. Yeah. And like it looked nice, but then the other thing is it showed a correct PV input on the inverter that has PV connected to it. But then when I would go to my full system on the other tab, it showed like no PV for the entire day. Like my daily, like the numbers were way off. And I started looking through the comments because I was gonna comment on it, or I did. And lots of people were like, yeah, these numbers are way off. So I don't know.
I'm guessing like any new system, you have to deal with the bugs, especially at the very beginning. I almost wonder if they had to get something out because they said they were going to put it out for so long and everybody's waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's finally like, okay, we got to get the basics out there.
Sure. Yeah. Then expand on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's most likely it. Okay. John Montgomery said, I showed my son-in-law how to shut the system down, and he switched over to the grid. I made a video and sent it to him. and my daughter. That's great, man. Good job.
That's a good idea.
hmm Mike Kruger says, EV question. If we use it 25 miles a day, is it better for the battery to do a slow charge once a week or charge it slowly every night? Hmm.
I charge mine every day. Like I charge it at 80%. It's not gonna hurt it doing it every day. It just depends on how fast you're charging. Like if you're doing like supercharging and stuff like that, that's a whole nother situation. If you're charging at home, it should be fine. Charging it every day.
Hmm.
I mean, you can charge it once a week, but I just like to charge mine and have it ready in case something else does happen and you're not able to charge it. At least for me personally. Depends on your situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. What's his name? Ditman the Man Dan? I think that's how that's the stat. Trying to decide next purchase, more batteries or more solar panels.
Do you use more power
And
during the day or
independence.
during the night?
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it.
I mean, if you're at home during the day and you use most of your power during the day, like for your big loads, then get more solar panels. If you need more power at night, you can't make it to the night right now, you need more batteries. So, and it might need both, depending on your situation, how many panels you got right now, and if you can charge a battery bank back. So it's just one of those things. It depends on what you want to do and when you want to run your loads.
Well,
Yeah.
I did see that this week Current Connected's doing free shipping on everything. So
Nice.
I don't know if
Save a few $100.
definitely, especially if you're talking about batteries and shipping
Mhm.
batteries. You're
Might be able to
talking
save more than a couple $100 because as
well,
much
yeah,
as it is
depending on how many
sometimes.
you're getting.
Yeah. Might be $800 or something.
So yeah, I'll drop a link to Current Connected in the chat. But yeah, take a
Mhm.
look if you're needing to get anything because shipping is not cheap.
No. And if you haven't picked up on the pattern and you're new here, I'll jump over here. Start your question with QQQ so we see it. Guys, y'all are just talking so fast in here. Honestly, the only ones that I read are the ones that are filtered out with QQQ while I'm actually pushing the buttons. Otherwise, if one of these guys spots something, they'll bring it in. I guess also asked you to do the BBB one, but I don't know why British Broadcasting, whatever. All right, so let's jump back over. And yeah, if you've got any questions, throw that QQQ in before. Now, also, this is only if you're in the live chat. Once the show's over, you can put it in the comments down below the video, but it doesn't really do anything. So with that out of the way, let's see. Okay, did that one. Engineers Love Change says the Connect app is a totally different one. That's right. Also, Red Bull says that he watched Adam's Midnight AIO video and liked them. All right, or video. Yeah. What else to watch?
That's right.
I guess, and that's regarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Red Bull was the winner of the Midnight AIO system we gave away on January 1st. So I guess he's got it. That's awesome. It should be there by now, right? I think. Anyway.
Did he say he had it, Adam?
I haven't seen that. But...
If I don't know if he hasn't gotten it yet, it's close.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty exciting. So, Adam, do you have any recommendations other than your series on the unit itself?
Midnight Power does have a YouTube channel where they go through and do webinars on different topics and suggestions, not solely regarding the Midnight all-in-one, but a lot of good things to keep in mind for systems in general. So I would definitely take a look at that. And if I can find the link, I'll send it in the chat.
Very good. So Dale has an interesting question. He says, what do you do when your spouse really does not want to know how to do this stuff? Oof. Yeah. I would think that's probably more common than it's not. Um,
I would make a
I,
video anyway and just tell them this is where you find it.
Yeah.
that's right. You do the
Document it.
video,
Make sure the
do your
book is easily
documentation,
accessible, and
Yeah.
I mean, you can't force them to read it, but
but you can say, you know what? I know you don't want to do this and you're not going to, but whenever it falls apart, if it falls apart and I'm not here to fix it,
mhm.
here's where
I,
the other person who's going to come in can find the information.
I like some of the comments. That's pretty funny. Oh man,
I can't
Human
read them.
PlayStation. It says replace spouse. Oh, that's funny. Oh
Not
man.
endorsing that.
No. It was funny.
There you go.
Oh man.
Leave her enough money to call an electrician. Yes, exactly. Good stuff off grid. Oh man. But yeah, no, Adele, that's actually a really great question because I think most of our wives couldn't care less. They're just like, just make sure it works. And when it
Mhm.
doesn't, I'll be frustrated. And after enough times, they get over being as frustrated as they were the first time things didn't work. But you know, hey, man, I haven't had any power hiccups 2 years. Like, I don't think our power's been out except for like scheduled maintenance when I just do that when the family's not here in at least 2 years. That feels good. Yeah.
It's been a while for my house too, since I got the grid boss. You know, because it just kind of does everything.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's nice. Telling you,
My
the grid boss is like my favorite thing, man. I'm just telling you, it's made my life so much easier.
Yeah.
mine's always the, oh, I flipped the wrong switch when I'm testing something, and all of a sudden everything goes off.
Yeah.
Then you hear
That
the, why is the internet out? Why'd the lights go out?
Now
Yelling
I
through
have
the
had the
house.
internet go out, like you said, like with my uninterruptible power supply that wasn't powerful enough. Now I got a big Anchor power box there. They ain't no way they're overpowering that thing because they would have the
right.
Xbox on and the NAS and all kinds of stuff at the same time, and it'd be pulling too much power. So that's the only thing that's went out.
Right. Now, what is awkward is when you're doing an install at somebody else's house and you're annoying their wife and kids. That feels a little bit different.
It's not your house, not your problem.
This is one way to solve that. Anytime I've ever had to do something where I knew the power's going to be out for a while, I just sent my crowd somewhere like, hey, y'all go
yeah.
do this or do that, go visit your grandma, whatever. So anybody out there, that's what you do. You send them to the movies or whatever they like to do,
Mhm.
visit people,
Mhm.
send them for a few hours, and you just handle what you got to do, and you don't have to bother them. So
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Logan says, my wife has dozens of installs under her belt and is well versed with all types of solar and wind gear. Man, that's awesome.
Yep.
Actually, you changed your profile picture. I didn't recognize by the picture at first. So, yeah. Jim says, my son will be assisting me when I put the inverters and batteries into the container. We finally got ready. Dude, congrats
awesome.
on getting it ready. And congrats on getting your son out there. It's awesome. NC Hydro says, in my case, it would be called Dan Keaton at Trophy Battery. He is a Victron whiz and already set up as a shared user in my VRM. Okay. If I need him to access to do any, if I need him to access and to do anything, I can't read out loud, guys. I can bump him to, I don't even know why I try. I can bump into admin. There we go. I finished it. I did it. Okay. So yeah, that's a good call. Don't forget, guys, you have, and I think this is on our spreadsheet, or not spreadsheet, but checklist. Don't forget to call your providers, right? Or your suppliers. So for me, I'm going to tell my wife first thing, call Signature Solar and say, this is what it's doing. And I don't know what I need. Like, what can I do? Because they're there to help, right? That's their job. Now, obviously, I want to have her set up in a good spot, and they're not going to do things way outside. But I think if she's like, my husband just died, and I got this train wreck over here, can you help me kind of understand what's going on? I'm sure they would be willing to kind of walk her through some stuff. So don't forget about the suppliers or vendors.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't
Yes.
think wouldn't even have thought about that, to put those numbers on whatever documentation you have, just
Mhm.
as ask these guys, because this is where I bought it from.
Mhm. And when I have a question, who do I call? Signature.
Yeah, Rodney.
Yeah. Rodney.
Definitely not
Sometimes.
me.
Sometimes.
Gavin.
No, man. Gavin. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. So Uni says, to answer the QQQ, yes, my wife can operate our solar system. I surely overpaid for my EcoFlow setup, but it's as simple as hitting one button and flipping the breaker interlock.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, dude. There absolutely is benefit to these more simplistic, more expensive systems. I mean,
Yeah.
they have value for many of these reasons.
I mean, the anchor system that I released a video on this week. I have never installed a system that was that simple.
Hmm.
I mean, you literally connect a cable and push a button to turn it on, and then that's it. Um, so yeah, having some of these systems that you're throwing a single switch, it's definitely appealing to your spouses, because having to flip this and then lean over and mess with that, and then at the same time you got to reach over and turn this thing off, and it
Yeah.
especially when you're talking with anything electricity, you could
Mhm.
freak them out really easily.
And you kind of should in some cases, right? I mean, some of the stuff we're working with,
Yeah,
we do our best to make sure that it's in good shape, and there shouldn't be anything that they're going to touch that's going to be problematic. But yeah, I make sure.
When I was working with just the 6000 XPs before I got the Grid Boss, I had a tablet all set up with all the info just running in the kitchen, so they would know they're getting ready to start a bunch of stuff. Hey, don't overload the system. Here's how much power is coming out. And they were still they didn't never look at that thing. I'm like, look, how many times I gotta tell y'all, like, y'all can't have the dryer running, the water heater, the stove, and all the burners on the stove, and both the air conditioners at the same time. I said, that's just too much power. I said, and the way we kind of did it was like, hey, if you're running the dryer, don't cook. If you're cooking, don't run the dryer. And usually we were always good, but sometimes they just forget. They go turn the stove on and the oven, and then they're like, why'd the power go out? Y'all overloaded it. Got to wait a couple of minutes. So
Right.
yeah, even when you try to tell them, if they don't care, it's probably not going to matter. They're not going to care.
Yep. NC Hydra says, my wife is also an admin in VRM. That's awesome. Good job.
I did that
And-
with mine. She just never looks at it.
Nope. Here's that. All right. Ricky says, you can't charge a Tesla too fast at home. Too much supercharging is not good, as Rodney said. 80%. Yep. All right. Logan says Midnight Power has a channel, or their channel with setup videos. I guess that's in regards to the Midnight Power all-in-one. So that's good to know. And John Montgomery says, do you think it's time to stock on solar panels due to the rising cost of silver? That's interesting point. What do you guys think? How much silver is in solar panels? Or is it just
No clue.
as the...
I don't know exactly, but I mean, we use a lot of precious metals in a lot of electronics. I know that for sure. So I don't think it's going to make a difference fast, but over time, if a year from now, if it's still skyrocketing, that means other precious metals are probably going up too. So anything you can get
Well, and
right
it's
now,
also
the way the world is going, you should be trying to get it because you should be able to see the writing on the wall of what's going on right now, and you need to be more prepared. In my opinion, I know this is a solar channel or whatever, but most people on this doing DIY solar are doing it for preparedness. They're not just doing it to only save money. That's a good reason to do it, but being prepared is more than just solar and power. So just think about what's going on and be aware.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did you put that up and I took it down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So 20 grams for a bifacial 400-watt panel. Okay, that's more than I would have expected, honestly. But I think probably the more important thing is that the cost of silver going up is more an indication of the
Dollar not being worth
the
anything.
dollar's value, just plummeting.
Tanking.
Yeah.
So it's going to take more dollars to buy anything at any point. So yeah.
If you
That's all
have
Donnie
extra
can do.
dollars as well, it's probably a better time right now to buy something that's a tangible asset than in a year from now or 2 years or whatever. The dollar's always worth less every single day. So if you have extra money and it's not going to hurt you at all, and there's something that you might want in a year or two, I would buy it now.
Well, and especially if you can end up taking and relieving pressure of you having to spend money on power. If you can get that done now, it's not something that you're going to regret down the road.
And think about this. Look what happened to Verizon this week. Sorry to interrupt you, Eric. Look what happened to Verizon this week. Does anybody out there think this don't have something to do with all the turmoil that's going around in the world? I mean, come on. Let's be serious. That was a hack. I mean, that's why Verizon went out. I mean, so if you think they can't get into
45 minutes ago.
yeah, if you don't think they can get into the electrical grid and everything else, they absolutely can. But they probably won't be able to get into your system at home. At least they're not going to try to do that first. So, and if you see big stuff happening, hey, you can disconnect your stuff from the internet. If that's what you want to do. Hey, just be more prepared. I know I kind of went off on a tangent on this, but
no, that's good, man. I mean, I think
that's what this should be all about.
That's part of this channel. That's our ethos, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to sidetrack from the QQQs here for just a second for the questions coming in. And speaking of precious metals, or really the lack thereof, did you guys see this? Surely you have. The donut battery, solid state battery that was just released.
I seen a thumbnail. That was it.
I saw a few things about it. Yeah.
Okay. I think I saw it fly past in the chat here. I have not spent a ton of time looking at it. And I'm not, the most well-informed person on this topic. In fact, I wasn't expecting this at all, but it seems like an interesting claim that they're making there. I don't remember all the stats and whatnot, but it seemed like a pretty incredible battery if it is actually not just vaporware. So I don't know. Time will tell. Just curious if y'all had a take on it.
On paper, everything always looks good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's see the reality of it first. I know they just made a motorcycle as well, and it had a solid state battery in it. It's supposed to have like 300 and some miles of range.
I did see that. Yeah.
I would like to see that because I've looked at the electric bikes, and most of them don't have but like 40 or 50 miles of range. Are just terrible. So if it's true, which we know a lot of stuff that they say is not true when it comes out, just like the Cybertruck, remember it was supposed to get like what, 500 miles or something. Hey, stuff's not always true. You got to see it in the real world. So we'll just have to see, but I believe it when I see it.
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right, I got to find out where I was at. I got to filter by not shown. Is that how we do this? All right, cool. And QQQ. All right. Engineers love change. Grid boss, 100%. I think that's just back on the hey, it's going to automatically switch over. You don't have to worry about all this stuff. Just do it.
Yeah, for
Um,
normal stuff, it's gonna switch and be fine. Now, if there was ever some crazy thing where the grid box went down, there's the manual bypass on it. So that's the one thing I want to show my family. So that's what
right.
I'm gonna do
Yes.
soon.
Yeah. Engineers Love Change says Signature Solar's support is second to none. Way good. I agree. Not in the early days. If any of y'all were around in the 6500 EX and 6000 EX days and all that stuff,
When
it
they had
was a
four
bit
people,
rough when they had 4 people.
Yeah.
It was rough.
It's night and day now.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Donald says the wife will not even load any of the apps for the home system. Not interested at all. Yeah. All right.
See, what we need is like a Home Assistant integration that has a button that says "I'm dead," and they just push the button and it switches to grid
That's
or
right.
plays the video or whatever.
If you're watching this, it's
Yeah.
because no one can figure out how to get back to grid. And I'm dead. Okay. Engineers Love Change says manual transfer switch is the way to start. ATS is the ultimate. Automatic yes. So manual transfer switch, but an automatic transfer switch is the way to go. Yeah. As long as it works.
Yep. That's the thing. As long as it works,
Yep.
because even like those Generac automatic transfer switches, they can still have a failure at some point, and then you have to
Yep.
have some way to switch it back or know how to switch it off.
Mhm.
and a lot of people that got those the propane whole house generators, I would say half the people I know that have them during a power outage, they didn't work, and they're supposed to turn on
Mm.
every month and test themselves. So
Hmm.
Yeah,
you
my
just
buddy
can't
Mitch,
trust automatic stuff all the time. So
yeah, my buddy that we were doing the FlexBoss Grid Boss install, which by the way, I was editing the second video from June to get that out. Oh, it's a long video and lots of moving parts. I'm trying to go back to like 6 different cards and cameras and pull all the files and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't even remember what we did. Anyway, he had a Generac and it was always causing problems. Yeah. You know what we need to do? We need to take a quick pause and let's jump over to the sheet that I put together here, and let's just kind of talk through some of this. So let me see if I can even find it over here. Now I need to bring it up. I'm going to add it to the scene. We're going to do this. Nope, not that one. This one. And I'm still learning how to drive, guys. Bear with me. And like that. All right, cool. So I built out this quick page. You guys can find it in the description, or maybe someone can just paste it into the chat as well. So
Yeah,
solar
I'll
system
grab that.
community checklist for absences, emergencies, or long-term events, right? So here you can just kind of, system owner, you can fill out this information if you feel like it. I highly recommend versioning everything. Probably for most of us, it's going to be like 0.002, or something. Not really version 1, but if you start at version 1, whatever, go for it. So if you're going to do this, obviously, you don't have edit or copy edit rights here. So what you're going to want to do is go up to File, and why can't you hit Make a Copy? Come on. Oh, it's because I'm not logged in as anybody. If you're logged in, you can go to File and hit Make a Copy. That should give you the ability to then add it to your to your account, or go over here and hit Download and download as a PDF, which is probably the better thing to do. But if you want to edit it in Google Docs or in Microsoft Word or just whatever, that's how you do that. So that's kind of the first thing. So system overview, these are all just different check boxes. You can check them off. We can change it up. And if you see something, you're like, hey, this needs to be in that spot. Like I said, put BBB and then what you think it needs to go or where you think it needs to go. But as a system overview, you need to have a system type identified, whether it's off-grid, a hybrid, or backup, just so that whoever your spouse is talking to understands what this is. Grid or generator availability noted. You need to have that in your documentation. Primary and backup decision makers identified. Let's see, the simple fail-safe. So you need to have like just documented the easiest way to return to the grid. That has to be just probably number one, right? How do you just simply get off of this broken system and back over to the grid, assuming you've got grid? Where the bypass switch is located, make sure that's labeled properly. Adam, you've mentioned that you have labels that you use. Are those labels that you create, or are those labels that you have purchased?
The ones that I've used, they're
not behind you anymore.
Well, it kind of actually is. I'd have to turn off this. Where's the camera?
Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
Portrait there. So I just have these little labels that I don't know. I probably picked them up from Office Max or Office Depot, and I just wrote on a Sharpie. Here's the grid connection. Here's the backup connection, and I just stuck them right on my transfer switches.
Gotcha. Very cool. So yeah, whether it's just a Sharpie or like I've got a little heat label maker that I use for everything. And man, if you've watched some of my videos, you'll see I use that thing for everything. Side note, I've got on labels, I've got a cheap little flashlight that I always hang in the boys' bathroom, just like on the towel hook, so that if you're sitting there and you're taking a shower and the power goes out and you're stuck in the dark and you can't see anything and you got soap in your eyes and all that stuff, you've got, I guess I should put this up here, you've got a flashlight, right? But the thing is, I would put it there and then I'd go use the restroom or something. I'm like, where'd the flashlight go? Well, one of my 4 boys is taking it to go play with it, right? I mean, every stinking time. I'm like, this is the bathroom flashlight. Stays in the bathroom. And no matter how many times I said that, it always did it. So what did I do? I got my label maker and I put like a little shower head icon on it with some bubble soap and it said bathroom. And I put that on the flashlight.
Leave it alone.
It never moved. With exception, I do think like once or twice, they're like, I need the flashlight. And they get the flashlight and then they go and then they're looking at the flashlight. And it's like, this says bathroom. And it puts itself away. It's the craziest thing. It's like if you label it, it goes back where it's supposed to be. Super cool. Just life hack right there. Okay. So make sure that you've got stuff labeled.
Helps you find the guilty party too.
And I have a little label maker that has basically an app that'll go on your phone and it's real tiny and it'll print labels out. And it was like less than $20. I'll throw a link in the chat or whatever, but that thing is pretty cool. You can label all kinds of stuff. I label wires with it. I label equipment, and it definitely makes stuff easier, even for myself. So I can be like, what was this breaker? Because I was moving all those breakers when I did the grid boss work. So I got some of them labeled that way.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, like the closest thing I've got right now is my server backup, and I'm going to move it slow. See if we can get it in there. There we go. It says backup right there.
Bam.
On it, server backup. I probably shouldn't have moved it. It's actively backing up.
Yeah,
disconnected. I thought it was done.
Corrupted.
Yeah, that's great. Oh man, Joe Schmidt's gonna lose it. Okay, so where were we? Well, okay, so we're out of time already, basically. But all right, honestly, guys, I haven't read through this. I had ChatGPT make it. Sorry. So I'm looking for the first time. I was running so late. Okay. need one safest default action, right? So write that down. So then shutdown and safety, normal shutdown steps, make sure they're documented. Emergency shutdown steps, make sure those are documented. If you've got high voltage, high current hazards, make sure those are labeled, and definitely have the do not touch items identified. That's pretty good. I think it's actually a good call. All right. If you have no power, we need printed instructions. If you have no internet, you need printed instructions. So these are just your checklists, right? Instructions need to be stored at the equipment. I think that's a good call, right? Don't go stick them on a shelf in the back of your, workshop or something. This is actually a really good one right here. Flashlight or emergency lights need to be nearby. You don't need to be trying to read through the documentation on how to shut stuff down, store it at the equipment if you don't have any lights. And then vendor support. This is if you got your stuff at Signature Solar, if you got your stuff, from Current Connected or wherever it is, right? Make sure, you've got those numbers. Local electrician. Don't make your wife have to try to find the best electrician. Like have someone like and trust who can just like, all right, here's Johnny's number or whatever. And then, a solar capable contact list. Trusted friends or neighbors need to be listed that know what they're doing, that you would trust, right? You don't want to be like, I think this guy, he looks handy. And then Unplugged Live Thursdays, right? Listed as helpful resource. QQQ, bring her, right? Just like go in there and be like, my husband died. No, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
But seriously though, we would help. I think we would all help in that situation. Normal versus normal, or problem. What is normal? What's normal sound like? Fault indicators, explain, okay, documents, manuals, warranties, location, or make sure they're located. Your purchase records, you need to have that information stored away somewhere. That's just being an adult anyway. I guess all of this is, but I don't know. Permit. There's Rodney's got all his permits in one spot, and then your unpermitted work needs to be noted. And
Note
then
it all.
house sale, right? House sale considerations, like what needs to happen, what has to get ripped out so your wife can sell the house. Labeling the location. Yeah, all major components need to be labeled. Main shutoffs need to be marked. Photos taken and printed. Yeah, preferred, right? Print it right in this. One of these days, we're going to put together an actual workbook for you guys. Instructions. Yeah, okay. So just the review stuff, right? Review after system changes. That's probably the hardest part for most of us, is actually going back and changing it. And review it annually with your spouse and your family. That's a good call. Final safety notes. Clearly give any safety details that are needed. And if unsure, shut down and return to grid or call for help. I think that's a pretty good little list. If y'all see something that's like, man, that should absolutely be in there, let us know. But overall, pretty solid, I think. And we'll go from there. What do you guys think? Y'all think there's anything that's like, yeah, that definitely was stupid, Eric? Why'd you say that?
I would probably detail, depending on your system, exactly how to shut it down, like the exact steps. And then, like you said, you can add the pictures in and stuff like that, or just make a video, which would make it even easier. But they might not have access to the video, so I like the printed stuff. I'd have a printed picture with the printed instructions. Maybe you can laminate it or something, stick it right on the thing with some whatever, and just make it easily accessible. Put a light on it that maybe is like a motion light, so when you walk next to your inverter, the light comes on. There's a lot of things you can do, but I'd have the video too. Now that's a good idea if that's working. It might go Iran on us or something and turn the internet off.
I have to post this comment. Jim's like, Eric's wife be like, too long, didn't read.
Oh man, that's funny.
I think
Why
for
did
most of us that are trying to get the system off grid, trying to utilize grid as little as possible, I think the biggest thing that we need to make sure that our loved ones understand is simply how to get it back to the grid, which is just kind of something they know. Um,
yeah.
if whatever's going on stops working for whatever reason, they need to know how to get it back to normal that they would understand, because in
Hmm.
that case it's you call a regular electrician. If
Yeah.
if there's a problem with the wiring in your house, if there's a problem with your utility, you call the utility company. um, so that would probably be the biggest recommendation that I would have. Just make sure they know how to get it back to the grid.
Oh, and on that note, for those of us who have free nights plans, right next to how do you get
He,
it back
he
on the
always has to bring
grid?
that up, don't
He does.
Hey,
Rub
but
that in.
this
Rub
is
it.
where it's gonna bite me in the butt. Okay, this is where it's gonna bite me in the butt, or my wife. It's back on grid. You get back on grid, and then she's like, I can't handle this. My husband's in the hospital or whatever, and then she's paying 28 cents a kilowatt all day long. So like, it needs to be back on grid, and here's the number to call, Reliant or TXU or whoever it is, and get on a plan that is just a regular plan. Because yeah, you don't need to go back to grid and then pay double the market value because you're on a free nights plan. So just another thing to add to it. Man, we are coming up. We got 3 minutes left. Do y'all see anything in the chat that needs to be addressed? I know there's going to be a lot more just regular questions. Take that. What we got here? Oh, there we go. I have paper documentation for a few items, mostly financials that I print off, but in the safe every year, in a sealed envelope after I file taxes. It's called the Joe is dead file. Oh man, that's a good call, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's a little morbid, but it's probably spot on.
Yeah, I sent like my wife like the life insurance stuff like in an email and a text and like the files and stuff. And I'm like, look, you should have this one way or the other. Like you just start looking and type life insurance in on your phone, it'll come up. So,
Yeah.
I have paper copies too, but if something like that happened, you'd want them to have all the information. Just send it to them every way you can. Electronic, paper copies, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I'm looking through
what time
here.
it is.
Yep. Hear that screaming.
No, actually, that must be.
Oh, it's 2 minutes ahead of time.
Oh.
Yeah, because here, actually, in 2 minutes, it's going to just go dead silent because that's when we'll switch over to grid, and then I won't charge for another hour. So I don't know what the deal is. Somebody must flush a toilet or something. Okay. All right. So Retro Z Machine says, sounds like you need fixed emergency lights around the house. So when the power goes off, lights come on. We do have some of those. So it's actually a pretty good system. Ooh, man. Okay. So K9 Car says K9 Carpet says, what was you guys' electric bill last month? Mine was $820.
Good night.
Woo.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Buy some solar.
Yeah, mine was
Yeah.
less than 25.
Work on it. I have no idea. Hold on a minute.
Mine might have been around 250.
Let me see here. Where's my app?
And that's high for me.
Yeah.
I guess if I find it here in the next minute, I'll let you know.
I keep waiting for February 1st to roll around because then I know that the sun is going to crest the top of the trees and stay up high.
Oh, nice.
So
nice. Donnie says, if something happens to me, my wife will be fine. If something happens to her, I'm in trouble.
I think we're all in that same boat.
Oh man.
Yeah. Can you save money? John says, can you save money with 2 6,000 XPs? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what's your payback time? It depends on how much your bill is in general. And, I mean, I ran off 2 6,000 XPs for probably 8 months and powered my whole house. And I mean, I had to really watch what I was doing, but yeah.
122.
122, man, that ain't bad.
That's not bad.
Not for how much power I use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has
here we
been low a lot lately. But of course, winter usually it's going to be worse because I'm running a lot more heat and power at night. So
I just heard that was it DTE, which is the Detroit Edison company or electric company, is going to start charging credit card fees on all their credit card payments. It's like, come on, people.
You know,
My
they're not
water-
legally allowed to do that.
Yeah. So my water utility, whatever, county water, they've been doing that for years. I think it's like, I don't know if it's like $3 or $5 every time you make a payment online. I'm like, so you want me to go all the way up there to make a payment? Come on, man.
Yeah.
And you're going to charge me every single time? So what I do is pay a couple of months. So my balance is negative. And I'm like, at least they ain't jipping me out a couple dollars.
Man, back in
For a fee.
2000, I don't remember what it was, 2012. So not that long ago. Back when I was living in a, with like a water company giving me water, like they didn't even offer online billing. You had to go drop it off in person. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And my propane company's like that. I mean, they'll take a check in the mail,
Yeah.
but that's it.
All right. Well, guys, I would love to answer more questions. There's actually quite a few unanswered out here still. So, man, the night just flew by though.
Maybe next week we'll just do a QA all night.
Just a standard Q&A. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that. But I think that was kind of fun. A little bit different, just kind of thinking through the things that we don't typically. It's like the administrative work of solar, which is way less fun than putting up panels and plugging stuff in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. So closing thoughts, Rodney.
Yeah, I guess the next week we'll try to answer some of these questions that we missed, but just be more prepared than you are right now. That's all I'm gonna say. The world is getting crazy, so I try not to watch the news and stuff like that because it just brings you down. But I mean, you're gonna hear about it regardless if you're looking in online or talking to people or whatever. But you just have to try to take care of your own business, take care of your family. Solar is definitely one way to do that. And just think of all the other things that you may need, especially if you have the money to spend. Go get that asset and just have it in advance. That's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think, Rodney, you mentioned just the preparedness aspect. This is one of those preparedness aspects that we don't normally think about. The what if. I mean, we look at a lot of what ifs. What if the grid goes down? What if you can't get fuel for your generator? But what if something happened to you? Would somebody be able to deal with what you have spent a lot of time setting up? It's honestly, it's a good reminder for me too, to, as much as they might not want to, it's like, hey, I need to show you this.
I mean,
I need to show you how.
It will probably be a good video in itself of somebody to go through that process and just show setting that up and making the little book or whatever you're doing. And, if I had time, one of you guys that makes videos.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we know Adam, he can make it 3 or 4 hours. So
that's
he
right.
Make a long
I
one
can
out of
make
that.
as detailed as you want, buddy.
3-hour video on how to transfer back over the grid.
How to shut it down. It could be a
Oh,
single
man.
switch pull, but I got to drag it out.
Yeah. We're going to explain all this to you first.
The history
Oh,
of
man.
shutting it down. Yeah. Oh, all right. Adam, final thoughts?
Stare out into space.
Good enough.
It's always fun being able to sit down and hang out. I mean, we had 70 some people joining us on a Thursday night at between 8 and 9 o'clock at night. We say this a lot, that it's surprising that you guys want to join us, because I mean it's been over a year since we've been doing this, and some of you guys have been here since the very beginning. So it's humbling, I would say. So thank you. And if you guys weren't actually jumping into the comments and having these little side comments and discussions and stuff going on, this would be pretty boring for us. So till next week, stay safe and stay warm, because it's only getting colder for a lot of us.
Oh, I did have
Yeah.
one more thing. NC Hydro, I saw your question or comment earlier about at least I'm not going there this weekend. I'm going probably when it's colder, so just I guess y'all have to pray for me or something. So, oh
Oof.
man,
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Thank you guys for being here and co-hosting and just kind of helping drag along the conversations and my inability to read out loud. So, but yeah, I think this is something we all need to work on a little bit, and something I need to work on a lot a bit. But we'll step at a time. It's encouraged me. I'm gonna do a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, and just kind of work my way towards having it squared away. But it's good encouragement, and thanks for the suggestions through email. We've got a few different suggestions for show topics. Some of it is just over my head, so I'm like, I can't really lead a topic on that, but maybe some of these other guys will get into those. But yeah, if you've got topic ideas, if you've got just general questions, you want us to feature your products, definitely just shoot us an email at live@unplugged.solar. And I'm sure Adam is working for the button to find that right now. And there we go. And then we will do our best to reply. We try to monitor these things, and Adam does a better job than most of us, but hey, we're doing it. He's doing it. And outside of that, guys, I'm just going to say, on behalf of these guys, live faithfully and prepare thoroughly for good times or bad. And we'll see you on the next one.